unified that East Tennessee Championship with the Uprising Championship on the debut of SOM 505 in that tremendous matchup between Brian Rivers and Dangerous Dan Matthews. How about those comments we heard from Kerry Morton? How about you bask in the glory of Brian Rivers, Corky? Let's worry about Kerry Morton later. Or in fact, let's not worry about Kerry Morton at all. Well, he said he's ready for round two against Brian Rivers. And, as well, that he's a man that's going to stand on his own 2 feet. The only thing that Kerry Morton did, Corky, is sign his own death warrant. Yeah, well, he turned down the offer to join the White Claw Outlaws. What happened? You liked him when you wanted him to join your group. He made the biggest mistake of his life, not accepting that T-shirt. I don't know that he did. I mean, he's earned the respect of these fans by standing on his own 2 feet and doing things on his own. I could earn the respect of these fans, Corky, with $10 on the food stamps. Well, you think so, huh? Well, that might go a long way these days. Speaking of food stamps, Corky. Ricky Dooley doesn't need food stamps. He lives on a farm. What does that mean? Ricky Dooley out here to kick some butt, and he's hoping to take home that unified championship. Who gave this idiot a title shot? Well, that'd be the GM of SOM 505, Derek Williams. Hard luck, Derek Williams. That would explain a whole lot, did hard luck, Derek Williams. Well, Brian Rivers was contractually obligated to Mr. Brian Rivers, the real outlaw, was contractually obligated to defend that title today after that match with Kerry Morton was a non-title match. I think it's nepotism, Corky. I think it's what's going on all around. Kerry Morton's on the roster now because Ricky's name's on the marquee here. Ricky Dooley is getting a title shot against Brian Rivers because who gave him the shot? Brian Rivers was given a title opportunity against Dan Matthews to unify those titles. How about that? And he's a champion. Now Derek Williams has given Ricky Dooley a title opportunity. You know that's why I'm saying nepotism, Corky? Connect the dots here. Well, who does Ricky Dooley look like? Ricky Dooley, he looks like a Dooley. He looks like his cousin Silas. Bald, beard. Well, what about Brian Rivers? Brian Rivers is bald with a beard as well. Brian Rivers is a handsome individual, Corky. And Brian Rivers has been putting the ringer on that arm of Ricky Dooley, really trying to stretch it out. Brian Rivers. The only thing being stretched here right now is the truth, Corky. Perhaps by you. I don't think Derek Williams and Ricky Dooley are related. How old's Ricky Dooley, Corky? I don't know, 30. 33. I would question where Derek Williams was 33 years ago. They look just alike, Corky. Well, Ricky Dooley making a comeback here, but cut short by Brian Rivers, dropping to the floor there and snapping the throat of Ricky Dooley on that top ring rope. Shades of the American dream right there. Another proud Texan, Corky. Yep, an atomic elbow for sure from the real outlaw. And now Brian Rivers he's going to rip that arm clean out of socket. He might beat him with it, Corky. Pulling away on that arm. Ricky Dooley in a lot of trouble here. Brian Rivers has been working over that arm since the bell rang. What are these fans chanting? They chant Dookie? Maybe that's what they all need to go do. Maybe that's why all the toilet paper's gone here in Chucky. They're saying Dooley. And I might be saying Williams after. I think I figured something out here, Corky. You think it's Ricky Williams? I'm just saying they look a lot alike. Well, Brian Rivers back in control. Ricky Dooley with a little moment of hope there after that arm drag.
What's he got a hold of, Corky?
What's Brian Rivers got a hold of?
Yeah, I can't see anything.
It looks like he's got a hold of Ricky Dooley's wrist.
I can see
He's
the hand.
reaching
I
back
can't
on
see
his
the
arm.
There we go. Now that it got in there,
Okay.
it's so camouflaged.
Yes, Ricky Dooley with a real tree camouflage on his arm there.
Tactics right there, Corky.
That chop block, maybe that wouldn't be legal in football, but it's legal here in the catch-as-catch-can style at SOM 505. Chucky uppercut from Ricky Dooley.
Catch-as-catch-can style.
That means anything goes, Bronson Garrett.
Last time I checked, the only anything goes match on tonight's card is RT3 and Anthony Catino.
You're sure right about that. It's an unsanctioned street fight, and it's going to be our main event. And those two temperatures have been boiling for weeks, and we saw it boil over into the locker room area. Well, now Brian Rivers finding a new way to choke his opponent with the ropes there.
He's trying to help him get that strap to his overalls back onto him, Corky. He's trying to help a man out. Brian Williams is a saint, Corky. He's a good Samaritan trying to help that man get his pants back on.
Wow, Brian Rivers drops the knee to the back of Ricky Dooley's neck.
And even though I despise where he comes from, Oklahoma, Brian Rivers reminds me so much of a young Dr. Destiny Williams.
Oh, you despise where Dr. Death comes
Oklahoma,
from.
You idiot, I'm from Texas.
Well, yes, so's Brian Rivers. He won't let us forget it.
Why do you think we're friends, Corky?
Brian Rivers with a near fall there.
Times. We've taken him on the Riverwalk. That's in San Antonio, you uncultured idiot. Look at those clothes, man.
And you're out there in Texas drinking White Claw, not Lone Star. Flying clothesline from Ricky Dooley. Back elbow from Ricky Dooley.
I'm not drinking White Claw, I do drink Shinerbach, Corky.
And a hook of the leg from Ricky Dooley. I like that Lone Star beer. You can get that in Texas.
I can't knock Lone Star.
Ricky Dooley now in control with the uppercut there. And another one. Ricky Dooley's striking game known to be second to none. And there's that knee. Could that do it?
Brian Rivers, a grizzled vet. He's too close to the ropes, Corky.
And, yeah, you called it, Bronson Garrett. Right there in the ropes. And Brian Rivers got his foot up. I don't know if it had been for that ring positioning that we wouldn't see a new champion right there.
Brian Rivers is a ring general. He will position himself to where he needs to position himself at to stay in the match. Ricky Dooley is not smart enough to outwit Brian Rivers.
Ricky Dooley dropping the knee now on Brian Rivers and a stomp to the back. Double leg takedown from Brian Rivers. He's trying to get Ricky Dooley over. And a variation of the Boston Crab, almost the lion tamer there.
You said you got one in Boston, Corky?
I said a variation of the Boston Crab.
Oh. Might have taken that completely out of context there for a second.
Whoa! Standing frog splash right to the lower back of Ricky Dooley from Brian Rivers, and a cover. Wait a minute. No, not a cover from Brian Rivers. He ain't done yet.
I would say he knocked the wind out of him, but I don't smell the stench here in the
Brian Rivers from the middle rope with that flying guillotine leg drop.
There we go, Brian.
Almost like an Alabama jam there, but a kick out from Ricky Dooley.
These idiots need to shut up and get out from behind them.
Ricky Dooley almost on instinct alone at this point in the fight. Listening for that crowd who are firmly behind Chucky's hometown boy here. Brian Rivers now
suplex there from Brian Rivers.
Almost like an exploder suplex. Brian Rivers now.
It's almost a variation of the Rings of Saturn, Corky.
Yeah, he doesn't have that left arm hook on Ricky Dooley. You think, could Ricky slip out here?
He's got the left arm hook behind his thigh, Corky. I don't, left arm. Okay, I made a mistake on that. I couldn't see his left arm for that sleeve.
Ricky Dooley is in anguish. And even the chants of this crowd, which are usually enough to breathe some new life into Ricky Dooley. Well, there he goes. Ricky Dooley out of the way just in time for Brian Rivers to miss that body splash. Ricky Dooley, there he hit the knee. He hit the knee. Could we have a new champion? This is it. Ricky Dooley hooks the leg, and Brian Rivers once again taking advantage of his ring positioning there.
And Ricky Dooley once again not smart enough to outwit Brian Rivers, Corky. Ricky Dooley is a tough guy. I've been in the ring with him many a time, but he is not nearly as tough as Brian Rivers.
Wait a minute. Brian Rivers just hit Ricky Dooley in a place that you never want to hit a man.
He was trying to help that referee out. That referee's glasses fell on the mat, and he's trying to help him get them back on.
Brian Rivers hits the lariat after a low blow. He hit Ricky Dooley right in the family jewels. Yes, I saw it.
You would call helping a man get his glasses back on a low blow?
And Brian Rivers now picks up the win. Brian Rivers retaining that unified East Tennessee Uprising Championship.
He out-wrestled Ricky Dooley tonight, Corky.
Well, the real outlaw picking up a big win and in true outlaw fashion.
Thanks to Brian Rivers, that man's glasses are intact and back on his face.
Yeah, well, Brian Rivers, let's see if he can refrain from striking the official here today.
The only thing striking in that ring right now is Brian Rivers' good looks, Corky.
Folks, we still got two big matches for you today. The X Division Championship match. Jason Blythe gonna take on Alex Monroe, who won that #1 contender.
Hook 'em, baby!
Won that three-way to become the #1 contender last week. Folks, that's coming up after this break. And then our main event is, well, going to be that huge street fight, Anthony Katina and Roy Thacker III,
RT3. Two people, Corky. It's going to be an ass whooping.
We'll be back with more action.